He was given exceptional status by the Ontario Hockey League to come in at a younger age, and it was almost unheard of at the time. Like Crosby had gotten it over in Quebec, the Quebec League. McDavid got it after Tavares, Ekblad as well, but
Yep.
like that's a special group of players to be in.
I'm curious though, given that he was drafted first overall and how special that we're claiming that he was, and now that he's a current Leaf and our captain, what's everyone in the comment thinks, as well as you two? Do we think he lived up to that first overall pick? Because obviously he hasn't quite had the Crosby-esque career that everyone thought.
I think so. When you compare him to pick number 2 of that draft, it's Victor Hedman. Now, you could say that you'd rather have Victor Hedman on your team, but that's a toss-up to me. And I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Yeah, you know what? I think obviously you're naming some big names there, and McDavid and Crosby. He never was in the same category, at least in the NHL. Ekblad, though, come on. Yeah, I'd definitely say he's in Ekblad's class, or if not a bit better. And I think that he's definitely he was on the Islanders, and I think the Islanders, when he joined them, like we heard Biron talk about when he was a rookie. That another great show. If you haven't seen that, go back, watch the show with Marty Biron. Great interview. And he had a really interesting story about just talking about JT's work ethic and how he was so serious coming in the league, and he was on a pretty bad team in the Islanders. So obviously you can't fault him for being on a team like that. But I'd say he's definitely lived up to expectations. But since you've brought up the question, what do you think? Do you think that he's lived up to what he was scouted out for and what he was drafted for?
I think he has, in a way. The one thing I think has held him back is something that he can't control. He doesn't quite have the natural God-given gift for skating like Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby do. And you can watch in their skating strides, and it just makes that minute difference at an NHL level.
Okay, but what I'll say to counter that is you can look at as many highlights as you want, and you can see it. He's going to demonstrate it in a multitude of ways. Like, he does it so many different ways. Tavares can keep the puck away from people in the corners, near the boards, wherever. Once that guy has the puck, it's extremely hard to knock him off the puck.
So that's a fair argument, and it's almost like they're a different type of player. One is more crashing in the front of the net and cleaning up the garbage in front and making plays and making sure everyone around him has the puck, and the others are really, I'd say, slightly more skilled players, and they're really focusing on elevating their teammates, whereas Tavares is more of a supporting asset. I think McDavid and Crosby can level up a team just that next tire that Tavares can't do.
I mean, you have a point in terms of, but like again, you're really comparing them to like two of the best ever. What I think is more of a fair comparison, without taking injuries into account because he's been injured lately. What was Stamkos like coming into the league in terms of how highly rated was he? Because I feel like if you're comparing him to Stamkos, Tavares has probably had the better career, right? At least recently, I don't know. Like I can't really. I don't have the stats.
I would say
comparing their expectations, I feel like that's a more fair comparison almost.
Tavares has had a longer, more consistent career, but Stamkos has had higher peaks.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'd take Tavares for the remainder of their career right now. The injury history for Stamkos and stuff. Coming out of, like, I remember when I was going to the OHL games all the time, there'd be Tavares, Stamkos. I remember there was a lot of hype around these guys. And I think it was the same amount of hype around them, except Tavares was granted that exceptional status that Stamkos never was.
Yeah, fair enough.